Ah, Whiplash, what are you doing?
Hello, Skeletor. I was just waiting for you.
Right. Has your vision improved since last week?
A little bit, Skeletor. I can now see colours and shapes.
Right. What colour am I?
Green, Skeletor.
Right. And what shape am I?
Sort of a triangle with sticky out bits.
Right. Well, I'm pleased your vision hasn't fully recovered. Get out of my sight before I beat you.
Yes, Skeletor.
Right. Greetings! I am Skeletor, and welcome back to SkeleTalk, the series where I answer your questions. It's the internet's best kept secret. Right. Nick APD kicks off the episode by calling me a ball bag, which proves that he's not paying attention, because I'm not a ball bag. I'm not one of those. Only a twit would suggest such a thing. Anyway, Nick also sends a link for me to watch because he is clearly under the misapprehension that I was born yesterday. Well, Nick, this is obviously a link to something related to Greece or Greece 2. Not only am I going to ignore your viewing suggestion, I am also going to call you a twerp. You twerp. Your weak attempt to infuriate me has failed miserably, and I imagine you are now feeling rather sheepish. May I remind you that you currently occupy 2 positions on my ninny list, and I am perfectly happy to add your name a 3rd time in the event of any further infractions. Throwing Grease references around willy-nilly is despicable, and people who do this are rats. Listen to me, they're fleas on rats. Worse than that, they're amoebas on fleas on rats. I mean, they're too low for even the dogs to bite.
Skeletor.
What?
Skeletor, that's a Grease quote.
What?
The thing you just said. It's a line from Grease.
Now, don't be absurd, Whiplash.
It is, Skeletor.
Shush, Whiplash, shush. I'm being incredibly clever. Sod off before I blind you again.
Yes, Skeletor.
Right, let's move on to some sensible questions. Retro Toy Guy Sai has 3 perfectly reasonable questions. Number 1. Which Spice Girl would you choose to help you milk an elk? Well, Ginger Spice would frighten the elk with her brazen sexuality, so I wouldn't choose her. Posh Spice wouldn't want to get her hands dirty, so that's her out. I feel that Scary and Sporty Spices would likely be too aggressive in their manipulation of the animal's teats. So, by process of elimination, I would have to choose Baby Spice. I would have chosen her anyway, because of her cute pigtails. Question 2. Which version of James Bond would you call upon to help unblock your toilet? Well, I think they're all more than capable of dealing with a massive turd, so I would just go with whoever was available and willing to push a meaty log round the bend. I think I would call Dalton first and give him first refusal. And question 3. Which member of Metallica would you ask to house-sit Snake Mountain while you and Evil Lynn take a romantic break to Disneyland Paris? Oh, easy. Cliff Burton. Bass players are always reliable.
Skeletor.
What?
Cliff Burton died in 1986.
Oh, well, that's inconvenient. Who's their bass player now?
Jason Newsted, Skeletor.
Okay, I pick him then. Get out of my sight before I beat you.
Yes, Skeletor.
Mike Ciccone wants to know if my cursing last week was in English or if it was Eternian swearing. Well, Mike, it happened to be English, but on Eternia we utilise swearing from many different languages. My favourite insult is in the Carriku language from Caricania in Darkest Eternia. The insult is Ferwellyboot Mothfunnel Corvonia Hammocknash Greebly Jellymush Stropdangle Thrapes Moof Moof Sister's Laundry, which loosely translated means I reject your wife's cooking, wipe dog shit on your curtains, and wank over your sister's laundry. Thanks for the question, Mike. I hope that helps. Alex James has 3 questions for me. Number 1. Was Trapjaw originally supposed to play Jaws in The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker? Yes, he was the original choice for the role, but in the end it was decided that he was too short and too colourful. He did, however, succeed in being cast as Miss Moneypenny's stunt double. although his scenes did not make final cut, and as such, he receives no royalties. Question 2. Were you fired as the magic consultant from Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow movie? No, I was hired as the movie's magic consultant.
Skeletor!
What?
Skeletor, you've broken the first rule of improvisation.
Yes, and? Right, and question 3. Is it true that in your youth, you and Severus Snape once spied upon Minerva McGonagall while she showered? Yes, and we still do, although these days it is more horrifying. Thanks for the questions, Alex. Tree Theodore asks, how do you put viewers on the ninny list for correcting your ignorance, i.e. Grease is the word, when you have consistently surrounded yourself with idiotic minions? Well, I'll have you know that hiring idiots to work for me is a carefully considered strategy to ensure that I always have someone else to blame when my evil plans don't work out. I don't just employ any old idiots, I have the best idiots available. I will settle for nothing less than the most professional idiots. And as for my ninny list, the criteria that somebody must meet in order to be added need not be specified. Further questions regarding the ninny list should be addressed to Head Ninny Gerard O'Connor. Thanks for the question, Tree. Jason Raphael Murdoch has 3 questions. Number 1. Which Jessica would you rather have as a lifeguard? Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, or Jessica Simpson? I think Jessica Alba would be my preference, although Jessica Simpson would probably float better. Sorry, I was distracted. Question 2. Which clown do you prefer? Krusty, Bozo, or Dr. Roxo? Well, Bozo is terrifying, and I've never heard of Dr. Roxo, so I guess that just leaves Krusty. And question 3. Would you consider taking over from Ozzy Osbourne when he retires? Well, I do love Ozzy, but I'm not sure there will be anything for me to take over from. He's pretty much done it all, and I don't think he could ever be replaced once he finally runs out of steam. Thanks for the questions, Jason. Andrew asks, what do you do all day? Well, it depends on the day. Monday through Wednesday, I generally work on developing evil plans and plotting mischief. This can be a challenge because of all the health and safety paperwork that has to be filled out. On Thursdays, I often play golf or go to the seaside. On Fridays and Saturdays, I usually embark on shenanigans. And on Sundays, I record this show and then sit around enjoying my own excellence and farting. Andrew also asks what I watch on YouTube, if not toy channels. Well, lots of things. I enjoy watching videos about aliens and UFOs, stand-up comedy, animals, particle physics, quantum physics, and people crashing into stuff and hurting themselves. The only toy content I watch is My Little Pony restoration videos. I never watch sport, politics, or current affairs. Thanks for the questions, Andrew. Okay, next up, fully qualified ninny Gerard O'Connor has a couple of questions in the following accent. Number 1. Are Pantor and Nightstrider the cause of your hilarious, embarrassing case of rickets? Well, Gerard, I cannot answer your question because I do not know who or what Nightstrider is. I know who Night Stalker is, but of course you did not ask about him. And my bowed-out legs are, in fact, a sensible postural choice. I stand like this in case I ever need to crap in my own pants or lay an egg. Now who's embarrassed? Gerard also writes, because you love Grease so much, do you enjoy any other films starring Travolta? Yes, Pulp Fiction and Swordfish. Stop mentioning Grease. Thanks for those questions, Gerard. Stephen Gray has 3 questions. Number 1. Could you let me know if there is an Eternian version of Hubba Bubba? Well, we also have Hubba Bubba on Eternia, but we have 2 extra flavours, red banana and sour dangleberry. Question 2. In Greg's, there is very often no seating due to an influx of elderly cake/coffee enthusiasts. Why is this always the case whenever I go in there? Well, you must be going in between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. This is the peak time for the elderly to consume coffee and cake, although the reasons for this are still unknown to science. However, I have found that if I take an enormous snake into the shop with me, seating soon becomes available. And question 3. In your opinion, which supermarket offers the best carrier bag option? Please consider price, sturdiness and bag aesthetic when forming your answer. Well, all things considered, I feel that Aldi's bags for life are the way forward. They are strong, sturdy, colourful and capacious, and will serve all your shopping needs. Thanks for those questions, Stephen. Kat has 3 questions to finish up this week. Number 1. How would you celebrate when you finally conquer Castle Grayskull? I would eat cake for an entire week and then mark my territory by going around and wiping my balls on everything. And I do mean everything. Next, Kat asks me to get Dracula from Van Helsing on the phone and ask him if he really loves his brides. Right, I will just grab my phone and call him. Right, here we go. It's on speakerphone. Right, it's ringing.
Hello?
Hello, Dracula from Van Helsing. What are you doing?
Well, I was sleeping.
Yes, of course. Tell me, how does it feel to be the shittest Dracula of all time?
What can I say? I am an embarrassment.
Yes, you are. And why do you sound French?
Monkey Boy cannot do accents.
Yes, quite. Tell me, do you really love your brides?
No, they are merely flesh for my enjoyment.
I see. How very modern of you.
How many brides do you have?
I don't want to talk to you anymore. Fuck off. Right. Finally, Kat asks if I ever use the famous Thing quote, "It's clobbering time." No, I never use this, and I can promise you that you will never hear me say this. Thanks for the questions, Kat. Right, we're at the end of the show. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up and share it, you selfish people. Do subscribe to the channel if you aren't already a Skele fan, and don't forget to leave me a comment or a question for next week. Right, I'm feeling violent, so I'm off to find Beastman. It's clobbering time! See you next time, bye!